Howdy, friends. Steve DePaul here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Today, millennials and the housing market. We're going to talk a little bit about millennials. So right now, from a real estate perspective, millennials are one of the largest buying groups in the United States. And so we wanted to kind of talk about millennials a little bit and what they're facing and what they're up against. So generally speaking, right, buying a new home or buying a home, period, is something that you want to have time. You want to make a sort of a relaxed decision. You don't want to be rushed into anything because it's important. It's the second biggest financial choice any couple would make, second only to children. Okay, so anybody buying a house wants to have the time to check out the foundation, research neighborhoods, compare options from one house to the next, because everybody's looking for their dream house or their forever house, and they want the time to be able to, research it, look into it, and kind of make a decision whether this location or that location or this house or this model or that model is better for them. And that's millennials, baby boomers, whoever, Gen Xers, everybody wants to do the same thing. They don't want to be rushed. Okay. So they want the time to be able to make an informed decision. However, millennials, since like I said, they're right now the largest buying group in the real estate market. They kind of feel rushed right now, or they did over, like, let's say, the last 2 years ish. Okay, because of the craziness in the wild housing market we were in. Okay, remember we were in this housing market where a house goes on the market, and within the first couple days everybody gets 10 offers, and they're all above asking price, right? And you have to make a decision like that. Do I make an offer or not make an offer? Is this the right house or not the right house? But how much? How much over asking do I have to go? A lot of times you have to obviously listen to your real estate agent. They can give you advice on it, but you have to be quick. And ultimately, it's the buyer's decision, right? So as it turns out, because of the snap decisions and these snap judgments and decisions this millennial group had to make, they felt that they had some regrets, and in fact, they kind of have a lot of regrets. Okay, so 80% over 80% of millennials who have recently bought, that's in the last 2.5 to 3 years or so, feel that they have at least one significant regret. That comes from the location, the location of the house. They feel they're a bad fit for the neighborhood, so they've got children and the neighborhood is more mature, or they don't have children and there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood. They feel that once they purchased, they had a decrease in home value, for some reason. So maybe, and that goes along with the snap decisions, that they, made an offer, they put down a bucket load of money in terms of cash, and then they did an analysis and say, well, the house isn't worth as much as we paid for it. Well, that may be true if you overbid because you felt it was the house you want. But unless you're going to flip it and then sell that house within the first year or two or three, kind of doesn't matter. If you're into it for the long term because this is your dream house, it kind of doesn't matter, and the price that you paid will catch up. Okay, or they found that they kind of bought a house that was reasonable in price, and it ended up being a fixer upper, so they had too much that they had to kind of put into the house. Most of the decisions that they made, most of the regret that they feel that they have, were based on the fact that they had to make rush decisions, and these big life kind of changes or decisions that they had to make, and they felt that they were rushed because of the competitive housing market. Now, here's a little bit kind of a comparison. Millennials felt that they had were rushed, and excuse me, 42% of millennials felt that they were rushed and had to make kind of a snap decision. Okay, where back when baby boomers bought, or bought early, they felt only about 24% felt that they were rushed. So that number's about double, 42 to 20, 42 to 24. What I'm saying is about double the amount of millennials thought that they were rushed compared to baby boomers when they first bought. Okay, but one of the things that the millennials are kind of watching out for, which is really cool, right, is debt, right? So over half of the millennial home seekers were concerned about debt. They were concerned about the market. So if they got this debt, like from student loans and that kind of thing, then they were concerned about how much money can we put down and how tapped out are we going to be in terms of our discretionary income every month, to be able to fix the house up and make the house ours, and go out to dinner and go out to take the family to a movie and that kind of stuff. So they were concerned a lot about a lot about debt, which is very obviously cool and responsible. Okay. So I hope that kind of sheds some light on that. Next week we're going to go back to millennials, and we're going to talk about millennial home buyers and some of their thought processes. This is Steve DePoe with the Rose Realty team. I'm going to bounce on out of here.